What really is education? Why do we value some knowledge more than others? Have you ever noticed how some persons introduce themselves, the confidence behind it? Some persons say, I'm a teacher, or others proudly say, I am a doctor, I am an engineer, I am a lawyer. But when it comes to many practical professions, the introduction sometimes sound different. You might hear, I work with my hands. I just do hair for now. I'm just a barber. Why does that happen? Welcome to the Educator's Table, where we examine education, careers, and society through thoughtful discussions rather than quick conclusions. Today's question is simple yet surprisingly complex. What really is education? Most definitions describe education as the process of acquiring knowledge, developing skills, and shaping attitudes and values. Whether that happens into a classroom, a workshop, an apprenticeship, a lab, or through years of experience, education is fundamental about learning. If that is true, then another question naturally follows. Why do some form of knowledge appear to receive more recognition than others? Consider two individuals, right? We want to consider two individuals. One spends 4 years at a university studying education and becomes a teacher. Another spends several years learning cosmetology, barbering, culinary arts, or automotive technology, or another skill. They complete training, practice their craft, develop their expertise, and continue learning throughout their careers. But both of them have education, right? Both have acquired knowledge. Both have developed skills. Yet society often seems to respond differently to these professions. Why? Is it because the institution where the learning took place? Is it because the qualification that was awarded? Is it because certain careers have traditionally been associated with higher social status? Or is there something else influencing our perceptions? These questions have become rather even more interesting when we think about confidence. Have you ever noticed that some professions introduce themselves without hesitation? I'm a teacher, I'm an accountant, I'm a physician. There's often confidence in their title itself. But in other professions, some people feel the need to explain. I'm a hairstylist, but I'm also studying. I do nails for now. I'm just a mechanic. I'm only a barber. Why do words like just and only appear so often? Where do they come from? Or as society quietly thought people which career deserves prejudice and which one requires explanation. Perhaps confidence comes from years of formal education. That is certainly one possibility. So many professions require extensive academic study, and we say yes about that. Professional licensing and ongoing development. Those experiences may naturally strengthen professional identity and public trust. Yes, But practical professions also required education. So a skilled hairdresser studies chemistry, anatomy, hygiene, communication, customer service, design principles, business management, and so on and so on, and their technical application. An electrician understands mathematics, physics, safety, regulations, and complex system. A chef combines science, creativity, management, and all those things. A barber develops technical, you have to know how to cut the hair perfect. Interpersonal communication, sanitization practices, and of course entrepreneurship. These are not random abilities. They are learned, they are practiced, they are refined. In other words, they are educational outcomes. This raises another important question. Should education only be measured by where it is learned? Does knowledge become more valuable because it was acquired inside a university instead of through vocational training? Does a diploma automatically make knowledge more important than practical expertise? Or are these two different pathways leading toward the same destination? Competence. Perhaps the issue is not education at all. Perhaps it is perception. Throughout history, societies have often created hierarchies among occupations. Some careers become more symbols of prestige. Others become associated primarily with manual work. Yet, modern economics depend on both. I would say so. I would. School cannot function without skilled trades. No way. Hospitals require technicians alongside doctors. I see that all the time. Construction projects needed engineers, but they also needed electricians and plumbers and welders and builders. Yes. Beauty professionals contribute to confidence, wellness, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. Each profession plays a role within a larger system. So, perhaps the conversation should move beyond asking which profession is more important. Maybe the better question is, how should we define education value? Should it be based on years spent studying, the income, the social recognition, the academic qualifications, economic contribution, problem-solving ability, or the impact someone has on the lives of others? There may not be a single correct answer, and perhaps that is exactly why this discussion matters. Education continues to evolve. We see that AI, mid-year, yes, a lot of things like that. Universities now offering practical programs. Technical institutions now conduct research. Many successful entrepreneurs have built remarkable careers through vocational education. At the same time, academic disciplines continue to drive innovation, policy, and scientific discovery. Rather than seeing these pathways as competitors, perhaps they represent different expressions of education itself. One emphasizes theory, another emphasizes application. The strongest professions often combine both. So, I leave you with few questions. When did we begin ranking knowledge based on where it was learned? Does the length of training program automatically determine the value of what someone knows? Why do some professional titles command immediate respect while others require explanation? And finally, if education is fundamental, the development of knowledge, skills, and competence, are we giving equal respect to every form of education? Or have we allowed society to decide which knowledge deserves recognition? I'd love to hear your perspective. Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. There are no easy answers here. And that's exactly what makes this conversation worthwhile. If you enjoy this discussion that challenge assumptions about education, careers, leadership, and society, then you need to subscribe to the Educator stable. Because sometimes the most important lesson don't begin with answers. They begin with best questions. I'll see you in the next discussion.